There we go.
Hello.
Hello, hello, Mark.
Hi.
Hi. I'm really glad you are here today. Um, I would like to understand the problems that bring you here today so that I can help you more effectively. I'm going to ask you a few questions and um, you can tell me a little bit about what you're dealing with. And I just want to remind you that there's no wrong or right answers, so just answer them naturally.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. So I'm 22 and I I identify as gay, and I am just having a lot of problems right now with my family, a lot of stress and anxiety and conflict. Um so yeah, it's overwhelming, really. Um, the thing is, so like my family is very conservative. They're very religious, um and they don't approve of my identity. They think that it's wrong in God's eyes. And anytime I'm like around them, it seems like somehow it always comes up in conflict. And I understand like that, but for me, like I'm struggling with the fact that I still believe, in God, and I want to be a part of the church, but it's like so many people that I grew up with, they don't approve of my sexuality. But so I don't know. I'm just trying to navigate all this right now. This is really weird and tough for me.
Um, I'm sure it is, and I'm sorry to hear that. Um, why do you think this is happening right now?
Well, I think there's a large percentage of Christians who think that it's something that God doesn't approve of. And so they sort of just feel like it goes against what they know about God. And I don't really think that, but I don't know what I think about it. I just know that I'm trying to still maintain my relationship with God, but also at the same time being authentic to myself. So it's like I'm kind of like trying to live two different lives that can't coexist.
Makes sense. Um, some people may explain their problem differently. For example, to a family member or a friend. How would you explain your problem to a friend or family?
Usually I kind of frame it like even when I first started talking to you, I usually frame it as like family conflict. That's usually how it sort of presents, It seems like it's this not being accepted by my family. It's kind of usually how I describe it, but I think it's bigger than that. It just has to do with trying to navigate these two different identities at the same time.
Right. Um, and what do you think others like your family and friends or your community think is causing this problem or is causing this to you?
Yeah, I think they think they mostly think it's family stuff. Everyone kind of that's the first place everyone's mind goes to, where it's like, oh, Christian parents, gay son, that's the classic. Like, of course, they don't accept him, and so I think that's pretty much how everyone would classify this.
And are there any places where you can go to get some support?
Well, that's the weird thing. It's sort of like I can go to LGBTQ meetings and support groups, community center. I mean, I can go there and get support. But when I go there and get support, I don't feel like I'm getting support for my Christian side. Or I can go to
Mhm.
other Christians and get some support from them. And I know there's churches out there that are accepting of people like myself, but I kind of feel like when I go there, well, I haven't really, yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. It feels like I can get support for one side of myself, but not the other. It's really hard to find a place that will support both aspects of me.
Right. And from your perspective, is there anything that makes this problem worse or gives you additional difficulties with this issue?
Just being with my family, holidays with my parents. Uh, I don't know. My dad always makes these underhanded comments, and don't get me started on the political stuff. I mean, anytime political conversation comes up, it's bound to go south. So yeah, that I try not to spend too much time around them. I try not to engage, but I love them, so it's just tough.
Yes. Um, for you, is this what are the most important parts of your identity? Would you describe this as one of the most important parts of your identity?
Yeah, I would say being a real and honest, being honest about my sexuality and my identity is one really important part of who I am. And at the same time, I can't let go of my faith. I can't let go of my worldview and the things I grew up believing. So, yeah, I mean, those are both very important parts of my identity. Problem is it seems like they can't coexist.
Sometimes, Mark, people have various ways of dealing with problems like identity, um, uh, like religion, like your um, um, I'm sorry, like Christianity, like religious background. Some people um, have different ways of coping. What would you say is a way that you have found to cope with this um, sort of clash of identities?
I mean, I haven't found a great way to cope yet, to be honest with you. Um, I guess I guess I need to do some more exploring and finding because I hear about groups that are, Christian groups that welcome LGBTQ folks with open arms. I haven't really found it yet, but I'm sure they're out there. Um, yeah, that might be a good way to cope.
Yes, people have been able to find different sources, including, doctors, social workers, different types of healing, um, also support groups like you mentioned. And I am glad that you are aware of these sources. Um, in the past, what kind of treatment have you sought, or what kind of advice, or have you sought any healing for this, what I call clash of identities?
Well, that's basically not really, no. That's basically what I'm doing right now.
Hmm. Okay. And does anything prevent you from getting the help that you need? For example, coming back here or to the places where you have found help. Is there anything that prevents you from um, returning?
No.
Okay, good. Well, we're coming to the end of our time now. I just wanted to reassure you that I am here, and we can, if you return when you return, we can go through steps that you can take to possibly um, be able to um, be more comfortable in the sort of two identities that you have that are not that don't seem to um, get along, for
Hmm.
lack of a better word. Um, so I would like to um, tell you that I am here, and there is nothing wrong with who you are. That is your identity, and I am really glad and proud you have the strength and the confidence to be able to say this is who I am, um and get help for the issues that are coming up for you with your family at the moment. Um
Yeah, that sounds great. I'd really like.
yes, so I'm so glad. I'm so glad you came in, and um we're coming to a close, so I will say goodbye here and take care, and I hope to
Great.
see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
too.
No, no, you did great. I could tell there was a lot going on in your mind, though.
Yes,
Your wheels were spinning.
really? Okay, good. Because, well, I don't know, good. But yeah, this, I'm learning definitely because that was really rough. It's really hard to ask the questions, and with
Yeah, I
everything
mean,
we've been learning to,
exactly. It's like if you were just sitting down just thinking about being a counselor, um, and I were to present all the same information to you, I know that you would be way more like you'd be attuned
yes,
and you'd be right there and everything. So you're trying to incorporate all these questions at the same time, which,
very hard.
you
Yeah.
know, after time, it will become much more natural to you, and you won't have to think like, am I hitting all the right questions? It'll be flow a lot more. But I think you did good. You definitely got through all the right questions that you were supposed to.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I got to number 15, 14 or 15. Um, yeah, anyway, what did you think, Kristen?
Yeah, yeah, I could tell your wheels are spinning too. I think the really like the only reason you feel like it was bad was because you had the paper. Because you're just trying to read off of it. If you put it down and didn't, do it exactly like that or didn't even have the paper at all to go off of, you probably would have felt more natural, which is gonna how it's gonna be in real
Yeah,
life.
once you have it incorporated, it won't feel as forced, you know.
Yeah, but you didn't feel cold. Even
Yeah.
though like you probably feel like you were not attuned, or I don't know how you felt, but you
Mhm.
didn't come across like you were cold. So it didn't feel um like it
Cynical.
didn't feel like an in yeah, it didn't feel like an intake like at a doctor's office when they're just like, okay, all the asking you all these questions. Um, which I feel like sometimes this can at times when you just try to ask a bunch of questions. So yeah, but just really when using a paper, I think the only thing I could say is just flow wise, it just felt choppy sometimes just because your wheels are turning, you're trying to figure out process what he's saying and then figure out what to say next. And it just kind of created some breaks sometimes. but that's comes with the territory.
Yeah, I think you did good though.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's really hard because if you're right, if we maybe when I memorize all of the 16 questions, I won't have to read, but because I had to remember what's next and then also not being cold to mark, that is really hard and it's a skill. And I could tell I was learning because it was really hard. I've never done anything like that. So thank you for the positive feedback and also the constructive feedback because that's how we learn. Yeah, I did feel choppy. I did feel like I'm not caring about the client because I was reading. I wanted to respond what he was saying, but then I also wanted to incorporate the question. So it was really hard for me, but I'm learning.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Okay, I'm gonna
So,
stop recording.